Hi, I'm Brianna Davey with BC Hockey. Joining me today is Ian Fleetwood with Capital Region Female Minor Hockey Association. Ian, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for this invitation.
So what inspired Capital Region to become a female hockey association back in 2017?
Well, if you look back 7-8 years, we had female programming being run within co-ed minor hockey associations, and those associations were variably successful. Some would thrive for years at a time, but they were never all consistently successful at the same time. And so depending on where you lived, you would either be part of a strong program or a weaker program. You'd have a guarantee that you'd be on an all-female team, or you wouldn't. It was somewhat unpredictable.
In Capital Region over the years have had such rapid increase in participation. What did you find were great strategies or initiatives that you brought forward as an association to really recruit those members into Capital Region?
Part of it was just natural. I think there was an unmet need in the community. Really have started to work into a cycle of recruitment events that are run primarily by one of our great volunteers, Megan Thompson, where we run the NHL and HLPA First Shift program. And then we also run a series of the SO Fun Days programs, which is a similar format, a little bit different administratively, but those are both programs that allow girls to get into the game for free or low cost.
In the first year at Capital Region, you've raised over $90,000. How did you do that? How did your association take those steps? And what kind of message can you pass along to an association that's looking to start up?
I'd say we left no stone unturned. We applied for every possible grant that we were eligible for. We had all kinds of fundraisers, a number of bottle drives, auctions, raffles. We ran a charitable donations campaign in association with the BC Amateur Sport Fund for Giving Tuesday that year.
So with a lot of these great initiatives that you're running, you're obviously coming across some barriers in participation from athletes. What are some of those barriers, and what has Capital Region put in place to help those athletes?
One of the first things we did was have a series of gear drives to try to get a lending library of equipment so that girls coming into it for the first time didn't have to put out the money for equipment. So basically when players come in to our programs now, they can walk in the door with no equipment and walk out the door with a full set of gear. And we've got a variety of sizes so players can size up as they go. We have done our best to keep registration costs down. We do a lot of fundraising to try to keep costs down. In other words, to subsidize registration, so what players are paying doesn't actually reflect their true cost to play. But also, many of our members have benefited from external sponsorship through programs like Kids Sport, Jumpstart, Grindstone, Hockey Canada Assist Fund, and Langford Sport Assist, Athletics for Kids, and you name it. There's many funding agencies that have supported individual players, and taking a lead from that, we've recently, again in collaboration with the BC Amateur Sport Fund, we've started our own player assistance fund where we accept donations from our own members or from the community into a fund that is strictly purposed for supporting players.
I know within Capital Region you have a very strong social media presence. How do you find that is benefiting the organization, and what kind of tactics would you pass along that really benefit the young girls?
That social media presence has been great in terms of formalizing the association's public presence, but also for the girls who play for us to have kind of a reference point and to see their team on our social media, to see their championship photos and things like that. It's also been very helpful in publicizing the NHL and HLPA First Shift program and our SO Fun Days, but we get a lot of interest in those through the social media posts.
To pull off what you guys have pulled off in the last 5 years, how many volunteers do you have within your organization at the moment, and what did you start with?
It's completely volunteer run, and we have no paid employees at this point, and we have hundreds of volunteers from top to bottom. Our board of directors is volunteer-based, obviously, and our board consists of 24 portfolios. They're not all full all the time. But beyond that, we have, dozens of head coaches, assistant coaches, team managers, scorekeepers, timekeepers, treasurers at the team level. So there's literally hundreds of volunteers. But in terms of the core group and the board of directors, it runs between 20 and 24.
How important are role models to these athletes that are coming? Because you've probably seen a huge increase in recruitment with the induction of the PWHL and having Micah Zandy Hart and Jen Gardner in our backyards. What has that brought to the game?
You can't underestimate something like this, and with our growth over the years, I've always thought that it was going to plateau at some point. But since January 1st, 2024, when the PWHL launched, our registration numbers have gone up by 25%. So there's a huge interest, and that ability for girls to see this as a long-term goal, as a professional possibility, is massive. And in particular, to have Micah Zandy Hart, who grew up within the boundaries of our association, who has come back and helped support our development programs and been on the ice with the players and met with players at social functions, to have her as a role model, as one of the first captains in the PWHL and as an Olympic champion and a world champion, is incredible.
Thank you for joining me, Ian. I think what you're doing is fantastic, and I ensure that you're going to continue pushing forward, and kind of wish you all the best towards the 25-26 season.
Well, thank you.